Hey everybody, welcome to another week of the Doe and 5-0 show. How you doing, Joe?
I'm fine.
And freaking tastic.
Yes. Yes. Everything's been going so well.
Yes, 2020, it's a shit show. I don't know what else to say about it.
It's been good for me, I guess. I
One
can't
big
complain.
stinky pile of crap.
Just seems like one after another, isn't it?
Yeah, the hits just keep coming. It's ridiculous.
But the Killer Hornets, what happened to them?
Apparently, we weren't scared enough of those, and we went back to the COVID stuff pretty quick. So, not that it ever went away, but it's like we're almost transitioning from COVID to the Hornets, and then nobody really cared about the Hornets.
And they said, "Well, shit, scrap that. Let's go back to the COVID. That's been working
we
great."
Go back to the COVID and masks. And
why stop?
Don't
something?
forget the coins.
Why stop something that's working so well?
Yeah.
The coin thing is funny though.
Yeah.
The coin thing cracks me up because there's been such conflicting stories about that.
Yeah.
I went to Walmart yesterday in Kokomo, and I fully expected to have to use a card, which I hate using cards. I like using cash. And I just thought, well, it's just the price I have to pay. I chose to go to Walmart. And I said, well, do you guys take cash? And she said, yeah. I said, you guys have coins? She said, yeah. But there's a national shortage, haven't you heard?
Yeah.
She said, well, we don't know anything about it. So,
Interesting how that works, eh?
Yes.
I personally have not been victimized by the coin shortage either.
I had...
And we're forever out shopping for something, it seems like. So.
I actually offered my coins to a store, and I was thrown out of the store. I was shocked. They didn't just ask me to stop. They threw me out. I wish we would have videotaped it.
Yeah, that might have gotten you some viral hits there, buddy, I'm sure. So.
I'd have probably been hit.
Well, I told you it was, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, my wife and I were in the Marion County area where they were hot and heavy with the mask mandates in the entire county, right? And we didn't realize we were actually in Marion County when we stopped to shop at a store. And my wife and I went in there, didn't think anything about it, and what I can only assume was the manager of this place came hurling at us like a bowling ball down a slick alley. I mean, he was running right at us, and he's like, guys, you got to wear your masks in here. You got to wear your masks in here. And, we start looking around and at the employees at this place, and it's just like anywhere else you go. They've got them dangling from their ears. They got them below their nose, on their chin. And we're like, so it's better just to have it somewhere on your person.
Yes.
Even if it's not being worn the way that the CDC recommends that you wear it.
I'll tell you,
right?
that's what I did in Kokomo yesterday. I had it on. I had it around my neck. And every place I walked into yesterday said that you had to have it on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd go in with it on. And as I looked around, I was like, well, nobody's wearing it. So I'd slip it under my nose. I kept it on, but I slipped it under my nose so I could breathe. Then one place I went, I don't want to call anybody out, but I went in there and he hurried up and he was the only worker. He hurried up and put it over his nose.
Yeah.
And I said, if it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother me. So if you want to. So he took it down and said, oh, thank God. So he reached across, shook my hand. Now we're both going to die.
It's kind of, it's really strange if you think about it. The things that Americans, and I use that term loosely for some of you out there, that you get passionate about, right? Usually it's, back in the good old days when all this insanity wasn't going on, at least in the public's eye, you'd be passionate about your favorite sports team, for instance, and you talk trash about that. But now we're passionate about masks.
But that's just how it is.
Masks.
And it's okay. The mask doesn't hurt me. It'll be a fun game. We'll be able to talk about it on Doe and 5-0 for the next 6 months. Hopefully it's all gone then. We'll make fun of it next year. It'll be all right. But
dear God, what is it? What are we going to be talking about 6 months from now?
But I was starting to do a post, and I almost hate to spoil it because it's so funny. But was it less than a year ago? People were up in arms because they painted the bridge blue. and wasn't it just a year ago that everyone was ready to boycott Kroger's because they changed their aisles?
Yeah.
So there's always going to be something. It's okay. We'll always have something to make fun of.
Misery enjoys company, that's for sure. So let's go ahead and dive into the amusing headlines. Now that we've gone off on the tangent about the mask. So, and we're gonna start off, Joe, where a mom creates a face mask with a wine flap in it, and it's dubbed the best invention of all time. So we'll put some pictures up there for everybody to see. It looks like, I'm not sure what that is. It almost looks like those baby wipes to me.
Yes.
Where it flips down.
Yep.
So let's see here. A mom has jokingly created a face mask with a wine flap, and it's been dubbed the best invention ever by people on the popular social media platform TikTok. Emily Rumhold attached elastic straps to an empty packet of baby wipes, there you go, and shared a video of herself opening the flap on the front and taking a sip from her wine glass. It's worth noting that this won't be a genuine face mask and that it should not be used for real protection. She's just doing it for shits and giggles.
It's a shame that they actually have to add that paragraph to there.
That's funny because you're right. But how many times have you looked at a package of something and it's got some ridiculous warning label on about consumption or proper use of something, and I'm like, the only reason that's on there is because some moron has actually tried to do that.
Yep. Turpentine, please don't consume.
Anyway, this thing went viral on the TikTok platform, and people, I guess, have been on that particular app. I know you're not familiar with it, but people, like, if that went viral, a lot of people will mimic it in their own way and take their own spin on it. And
I've actually seen stuff like that. Just all sorts of openers that they have on there.
I've seen some on TikTok, for instance, where they appear to be nurses to me. It looks like they've got one mask on when you're looking at them, and then all of a sudden they open their mouth and it's almost like a duck bill. It opens like that, and then they start drinking their iced coffee or whatever. Then you look, so basically they got a mask up here and a mask down here, and it's folded. And if you look closely at their ears, then you can see all the elastic on there from where they've got two masks. But it's really funny looking. It's almost like Pac-Man or a duck or something. The way it focuses. So.
That's really clever.
Staying on the line with the masks, man who had part of his ear bitten off concerned he'll have to avoid shopping because he can't wear a mask. We'll put this. Poor guy's.
They did that with Evander Holyfield because Mike Tyson famously bit part of the ear of Evander Holyfield during a fight.
Yeah. And
they showed Evander of the mask hanging off his face like that.
Well, we put that on our social media accounts, I think, last week. Thanks a lot, Mike Tyson. So.
Forever giving us material to work with.
Well, a man who had a chunk of his ear bitten off when he was just a teenager is now concerned he might have to stop using shops when the new laws come into place requiring people in England to wear face masks. Danny Queen, who's a butcher, lost a piece of his right ear when he was attacked at just the age of 18. Danny thinks he may have to avoid shopping at supermarkets after Friday, the last Friday in July, because he doesn't think he has enough ear left to hold his mask safely in place. Put his picture up there for you guys. It looks like he does have quite a chunk missing out there. You see the one on the left side of his head sticking out pretty far, and
I wonder why they don't show a better picture.
I guess that's the best selfie he could do. I don't know. Thanks to the tosser that bit the tosser. That must be some type of slang for Brits. Thanks to the tosser that bit me ear off when I was 18. Now it's become a problem. The
postal. You really say that with an English accent.
I'm probably not very good at that. We need Austin Powers in here. He's pretty
yeah, baby.
The mask feels like it's going to fall off any second. They're not painful. They're just awkward. There's a little bit of my left ear, and I can still wrap the elastic around it. I tuck it into my ear, and then it falls off. If I move my head fast enough, it'll fall off. So. This poor guy, we've seen medical, there's actually a closer picture of his ear. Actually, it don't look so bad on that side. But you can definitely see where a chunk of it's gone.
No, that must be the other ear that he's talking about. That must be in a mirror or something.
So, you've seen where there's exceptions for people. And it's going to be interesting how that plays out, right? Because if you have some type of medical condition, you're exempt from the mask law mandates.
But you can't.
I don't see how you could ask somebody about their medical condition, because that'd be a HIPAA violation, right? So,
right.
And that's not Walmart's damn business what your medical condition is or anything like that. So.
Well, as far as Mr. Powers there, Mrs. Dunn made this for me, and so part of it wraps around your neck, the other one wraps part of your head, so that way you can die of suffocation without using your ears. God, it's hot. Thanks, Mrs. Dunn.
Well, you may be asking yourself, can coronavirus cause a man to have a 4-hour erection?
I've often asked myself that.
Well, instead of worrying about a cure, doctors are currently studying that to find out if that's actually actual.
Somebody's paying them with coins.
Not in America. Doctors in France believe the coronavirus could be to blame for a man's erection that lasted more than 4 hours. Blood clots.
I want coronavirus.
You're too tired for that. Shut up.
My wife wants me to have coronavirus.
Blood clots found within the 62-year-old's penis caused a painful case of priapism, the medical term for a prolonged erection, and is thought to have been triggered by the disease, according to the report published in June by the American Journal of Emergency Medicine. The case appears to be the first that links penile erections to COVID-19.
It seems we have a lot of stories about penises and butts.
Yes.
Usually it's with Florida, though.
It's probably Facebook just checking my search history. And
I bet
they probably think I'm a sick bastard. It's just the stuff that comes to me.
You're being investigated.
I'm just PENI. The clinical and laboratory presentation in our patient strongly suggests erections related to the COVID infection. This medical emergency should be recognized by healthcare professionals and treated promptly to prevent immediate and chronic functional complications. This goes on for a little bit longer, but basically the doctors drew some blood from the man's penis. Found dark blood clots and high carbon dioxide and low oxygen counts, which means the clots were blocking blood from flowing out of his penis.
Low oxygen. Maybe it had a mask on.
When the blood stays in the same place and can't return to the lungs, it gets depleted of oxygen and loaded with more carbon dioxide. Although arguments supporting causal link between COVID-19 and erections are very strong in our case, reports of further cases would strengthen the evidence. So, normally when you see stories like that, it's related to the boner pills gone wrong, right? You have some type of reaction to those, and they say you need to. I guess you have to get an injection, which sounds absolutely god awful to me.
Yes.
But now apparently there's corona boners.
Corona boner. We laugh now unless it was us.
That'll be the thing that happens to us. No ventilators, just painful erections.
I'll be sitting down at the bakery. You'll come in. Hey, Joe, can you get that? I'll be like a 7th grader in school. And Mr. Droshi, you come to the board? I'll take the 0.
Student begs to retake test after meatball falls onto her keyboard and logs her out. I like a good meatball.
I do, but how did it fall under your keyboard?
College student had to beg her professor for another stab at an economics test, having accidentally flunked hers thanks to a wayward meatball. Sam Lee, age 20, had been taking the exam while eating a meatball sub when part of the filling dropped out of the bread and onto the keyboard, and in turn logged her out of her exam prematurely. After her results came back at a fairly woeful failing grade of 39%, she decided the only thing to do is to fess up to her professor in an email. She told him, "I'm not kidding. I'm sitting here eating a meatball sub, taking my econ test, and a meatball fell onto my keyboard and exited me out," which caused her percentage to drop to 39.17%.
Oh, onto her keyboard. I thought you said under her. Yeah, okay. I've done that. I've eaten and dropped stuff on my keyboard, so I get it.
She states, "I completely understand that a falling meatball is no excuse for the failing grade on this exam. Is there any possibility of retaking the test?" It turns out that her professor was an understanding person, or perhaps the type that had once dropped a meatball on his own keyboard as well, because he responded the next day and said she could have another stab at the exam. The professor replied, "Samantha, well, this is certainly new and an unusual excuse for a low score, but for that reason it seems unlikely that you've actually made this up. I've extended your deadline for the Module 6 test tonight until midnight." He added with a smiling emoji, "I would recommend you take the test either before or after eating your dinner."
So, I mean, it'd be easy to see. Did she answer half the questions, all of a sudden log out?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or did she get all the way through and have all incorrect answers, which would have been bullshit then?
Yeah. Remember the good old days of AC/DC on the Scantrons, and that was probably after your time, though.
Yeah, it was after my time. But not AC/DC.
Prankster stuck giant sex toy to her forehead, leaving a week-long bruise. Prankster was left with a massive hickey on his forehead for a week after sticking a foot-long dildo to it in an attempt to cheer up his girlfriend. Micaiah Stone, age 27, was trying to make one of his partners, 21-year-old Alyssa Lampkins, smile on his work lunch break by transforming into a unicorn.
His name was Michaela?
Micaiah? Mike? I don't know. Something like that.
Huh.
Call center manager Micaiah slammed the enormous sex toy to the center of his forehead earlier this month and wiggled around in a bid to try and make home care agent Alyssa laugh. After 30 seconds of jiggling the girthy $30 sex aid around, he tugged it off with an audible plop, leaving Alyssa open-mouthed at the huge purple bruise that bloomed on his forehead. Less than a half an hour later, the red-faced Micaiah had to go back to work and bat off questions from his curious colleagues.
Why didn't you just say it? A dildo stuck to his head.
He was left with the unwelcome reminder on his head for 6 days until the bruise went away. Wow.
That's pretty funny. Well, I don't have any of those laying around the house. Not that I've seen. But I think that must have been a fun. I wish they'd show the video of him doing that.
All right, driver offers reward for a car loss during a drunken bender.
Dude, where's my car?
Dude, where's my car?
That's how it starts off. Dude, where's my car? A Twin Cities resident is left without wheels after he or she misplaced their 2007 Toyota Camry during a night out partying. Users on Reddit were left howling after the user by the name of iGoalie posted a sign found in a North Minneapolis neighborhood. I got too drunk, parked my car, and rode with a friend, reads the flyer. We think it's somewhere in the northern parts of Hennepin County, parked on a residential street. The poster lists a number to call if the wayward Toyota is spotted and offers an unspecified reward. I may have saved your life or your child's, the sign continued, but now I can't find my car. Bizarrely, pictures taken of the car appears as it's already had jumped the curb. A local website, City Pages, quipped, to say a person, place, or thing is in the northern parts of Hennepin County, which stretches approximately 600 square miles and is home to more than 1 million people, is about as helpful as saying the mythical Minotaur is somewhere in the labyrinth. I don't even know what the hell that means.
It's the same thing.
Must have been a hell of a night, though, according to one comment on the Reddit website. Sheriff's office says naked man arrested says he used mushrooms with Jesus.
I'm so weird.
You mean they got together and did shrooms?
Apparently. Out of Owensboro, Kentucky. An Owensboro man is facing several charges after deputies say they found him naked on a burglary in progress run. Deputies said with the Daviess County Sheriff's Office were responding to the area of West 5th Street Road and Highway 1554 in reference to a naked man running down the road and hitting passing vehicles. While deputies were responding, dispatch advised them of a burglary.
Wait, he was hitting him?
Yeah, that's what it says. Well, how would you like that if you're just driving your car and some naked guy just comes flashing past you and starts smacking on your car?
That'd just be odd.
While deputies were responding, dispatched them of a burglary in progress at a home in the 1900 block of Highway 1554. When the deputies arrived, they said they saw a man inside the home naked with blood and mud on his body. Authorities said the man started walking towards the deputies, ignoring their commands to get on the ground. They say he then started running at the deputies while yelling. That's when they say a deputy deployed his taser, causing the man to fall to the ground. Deputies were able to place him into handcuffs. However, they say the man then jumped up from the ground and tried running toward a deputy again. 41-year-old John Stephanopoulos was eventually taken into custody. Deputies say that Stephanopoulos kept repeating that he had used mushrooms with Jesus and that they were playing a virtual reality video game together. I didn't know Jesus was a gamer.
I bet he's good at it.
I bet he is. According to a report, deputies discovered the front door of the home on Highway 1554 was forced open. There were holes punched in the drywall, and blood was smeared on several walls and windows, and several pieces of broken glass were laying on the floor. Snuffleupagus is facing several charges, including indecent exposure.
You just Snuffleupagus? What did you say?
Burglary, criminal mischief, resisting arrest, public intoxication, and menacing.
Take it wasn't his house.
I take it not. Ricky Gervais says he wants his body fed to lions after he dies. Have you ever heard of him? He's a comedian.
That guy is hilarious.
He is funny. British comedian Ricky Gervais. I'm not even.
I don't care. Take your bloody little reward and piss the fuck off.
Yeah, he's the one that pissed off all the social elite at one of those the Oscars or something like that, right?
Yes, that's one of the things he said. Thank your God, thank your agent, and get the fuck off the stage.
The British comedian said that he does not fear death and he would like his body to be thrown to the lions when he dies. Speaking to the Daily Star, the Office creator insisted that he does not care about his physical body once he passes away.
Why would you?
To further stress this point, Gervais, an avid activist for animal welfare, said, "Feed me to the lions. I like the idea of 2 lions eating me, and they go for the soft bits first, and they've each got a testicle, and then they're 6 feet apart." It will be like Lady and the Tramp, just 2 lions chewing on my testicles. Brilliant. How big are his balls if they're 6?
Well, he didn't say 6 feet apart. You added that.
No, that was in there. Mortified mom confused as postman smirks handing over her package before seeing the label on it. A mom was left mortified after an adult toy she bought online didn't turn up in the discreet packaging that was advertised, much to her postman's amusement.
Inside dildo, handled with care.
Chloe Lithgow, age 21, thought she'd treat herself to a clitoris sucker, a sex toy off of Amazon for about $15, and she patiently waited for it to arrive. She got a text message to say that her order was due to be delivered to her, but when she opened the door, she found her mail carrier trying to contain a grin. After looking down at the package and trying to work out what was going on, she realized that she had most likely seen the Satisfier Clit Sucker Next Generation label that was casually sitting on the outside of the packaging. Now the full-time mom has to answer the door to the same mailman every day, every time she gets a package, with both of them silently knowing that he's seen what she's been buying on the down low.
That's kind of an appropriate term, isn't it?
I bet all these postal people and the UPS and FedEx guys have some pretty good stories too.
Oh,
with their
yes.
stuff, so.
They have got to see. Well, just like the policeman.
Yeah.
There's so many things that you can't talk about.
Yeah. All right, that's all we got for this week in the news. It's time for Joe's favorite time of the week, Florida.
Down to Florida, we welcome you to the Sunshine State. They're kicking back and soaking up the rays every day in Florida. I'm in Florida. The sun is setting over Tampa Bay. It's like a Caribbean holiday every day in Florida.
All right, everybody, welcome to This Week in Florida. You ever spend much time with your grandma growing up?
A little bit.
A little bit. Most people think that grandmas are sugar and spice and everything nice. They make you eat.
Nah, you haven't met my grandma.
Make you eat when you're not even hungry, and
Vicks Vapor Rub for every ailment.
Yeah, so people usually hold, in most cases, it seems like people hold their grandparents in pretty high regard, and they're to be treasured.
Right.
In Florida, we're going to load a video here for everybody to see, so here you go, Joe.
We're talking a big-time redneck Uber. Grandma is sitting in the back of the truck in a wheelchair. I'm talking, that's about as good as it gets right there. I gotta be honest with you. Grandma's chilling in a wheelchair. She's strapped in, too, look. Hey.
I guess there wasn't room for her in the cab. I don't know.
There's everyone's seen Beverly Hillbillies, right?
Listen to my story about a man named Jed.
Everyone, come on.
Younger people probably haven't, but yeah.
Okay, well, it shows Jed Clampett and his family moving from, was it Tennessee or Kentucky?
Yeah.
Something like that. And they're moving to Beverly and Beverly Hills, and Grandma's she's sitting way at top on the very end of the truck in a chair, all strapped in. That's a great show.
All right, we got another video for you guys where a Florida man uses his wanted poster as his Facebook profile picture.
Facebook likes to advertise itself as a way for you to stay connected. Well, Stewart police just used it as a way to connect themselves to a wanted criminal. Scroll through the profile pictures on Mac Yearwood's Facebook page and they look just like anybody else's. Until you get to this one. And this is the one that got Mac Yearwood in trouble.
I just thought there's always somebody out there.
Monday night, police in Stewart were called to this home on Southeast 13th Street for reports of a battery. But when they got here, their suspect, Mac Yearwood, was gone. The detectives decided to check social media to see what else they could learn about the guy they were looking for.
They went on Facebook and found that he had opened warrants from another county.
And they found that information because Yearwood was using his own wanted poster as his profile pic.
I did chuckle. Yes.
And there's more. Somebody commented on the picture with a warning saying she wished he would take it down because the cops use Facebook now. His response? At least they won't come get me in Tennessee, which is where Yearwood lives. But they did come get him when he came to Stewart.
Obviously, it's because of last night and you fled.
The next day, officers went back to the home and arrested Yearwood.
Is that blood on the shirt?
And there's even more. Police say as Yearwood put on his jeans, this bag of marijuana fell out. So now he's also facing drug charges. And police tell me they're still investigating the initial battery complaint from Monday night that started all of this, so it's possible Yearwood could face even more charges.
He's missing part of his left arm, so how did he beat somebody up? Did you notice that?
I think I could take him if he just had one arm.
Man arrested for throwing ramen noodles at his boyfriend. 40-year-old Florida man found himself in oodles of trouble when he was slapped with a battery charge for throwing a cup of ramen noodles at his live-in boyfriend. According to an arrest affidavit, the proverbial cup of trouble started on Friday, November 11th, when Michael Herrick of Pinellas Park, Florida, shocker, got into a verbal altercation regarding questions of infidelity with his boyfriend of approximately a year. Herrick told police that the argument escalated until he threw a cup of ramen noodles at the victim, striking him right in the neck area. Herrick was determined to be
with a wet noodle. He was struck with a wet noodle, and he's being arrested for this.
They really need like a food statute portion for their batteries down there.
Fruit should be on one, wet noodles on another one.
Condiments.
Lots of condiments. Anything with a bone in it should probably be up a little higher. You could take out an eye.
Yeah. Herrick was determined to be the primary aggressor in the noodle assault after multiple family members told the arresting officer that he was making threats of harming himself and acting unstable. Herrick was booked into jail on one misdemeanor account of domestic battery and released the following day. The news reports that Herrick's rap sheet includes prior convictions for grand theft, passing bad checks, and violating probation.
But what is he in jail for right now? Throwing a wet noodle. How do you tell your fellow inmates about this?
What are you in here for? Ramen.
I threw a wet noodle at my boyfriend.
We got one more clip out of Florida here for you guys, where a Florida man tries to evade arrest by doing cartwheels away from the police.
Seems like it's going to take a little longer. Does he have a mask?
On his chin.
Yeah. He's not getting very far.
Nope.
Oh,
he's a holy man.
He is. Well.
Now he's tired.
Oh, that's him being arrested. He's more aggressive now.
I'm sorry.
Where was that?
I don't know. It's in Florida. I'm not sure where.
Oh, goodness.
Orange County, Florida.
It's another one of our favorite places. St. Lucia's the other one. Is that where your next story is from?
Yeah. Well, that's all we got for Florida this
okay.
week. So, this gentleman was ultimately he was charged with battery on a law enforcement officer and resisting arrest. Doesn't say if it was with or without violence.
Without, yeah.
All right, that's all we got for this week in Florida. Stay tuned for this week in Good News. All right, everybody, welcome to This Week in Good News. You big chicken fan, Joe? I know you are. He eats chicken raw for breakfast. I've watched it.
What?
You do like chicken wings.
I like chicken wings, yeah.
Well, good news.
But not raw ones.
Good news for you, Joe. You can now buy arms for your chicken.
Okay, great news.
We'll put some pictures up there for you guys. Have you ever heard of the website Etsy?
No.
It's I don't know how to describe it. It's basically like people, like my wife would probably do well on this. You know, she's crafty and makes a lot of homemade stuff. That's what people do. They make a lot of homemade type stuff and they sell it on this website.
Okay.
There's actually some pretty cool stuff on there. Some pretty good, talented people on there. But somehow this has gotten through the cracks on Etsy where you can buy baby arms on Etsy with a wire on it and attach it to your pet chicken.
It's my pet chicken.
Yeah. See? Arms.
Why would anyone have a pet chicken?
It's hilarious. I don't know.
Do they come when you call?
Well, look at this little guy. He's pretty excited about his arms.
It is kind of cute. Okay, I get it. But won't they shit all over the place? Or do they have...
Look, I'm not a bird guy. I can't stand
That's
birds.
That's right.
I've had a lot of traumatic experience. I don't even know if that's really good news. I just thought it was a cute story. So there you go. Get on
There you
Etsy
go.
and look for arms for your birds if you're into that.
For your
kind of thing.
chicken.
So, Chick-fil-A donates 75 free meals for 1 year to local hospital staff. Out of Odessa, Texas, Chick-fil-A is looking to thank local healthcare workers for their hard work during the coronavirus pandemic. On Monday, the new Chick-fil-A location on Fodry donated 75 free meals for a year to the medical center health system. According to MCHS, the meals were divided amongst employees in its COVID units, the respiratory unit, housekeeping, and engineering. The new Chick-fil-A locations normally give 100 free meals for a year to their first 100 customers. So we've seen stuff like this out of Chick-fil-A before. They're a family-oriented business.
Yeah.
They're nationwide, obviously, but
Right.
they've got a lot of family-type values. They don't open up on Sundays. They want their families to be able to spend time with each other, go to church if that's what they like to do.
They don't sell drugs.
Yeah. Well, there was a football stadium. I can't remember where it was. Remember that they opened up a Chick-fil-A in there, and there's a lot of controversy with whether or not they were actually going to be serving Chick-fil-A on the Sundays.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember who that was, but Chick-fil-A's done a lot for their communities. The one I probably go to most would be in the Westfield area, because we go down that way for my daughter's orthodontist quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
I went to, because you recommended them, I went to
Mm-hmm.
one in Indianapolis when I was down there once, and I was amazed, absolutely amazed. We pulled into, I think we've talked about before, because I pulled into the parking lot, and there's so many cars, and I told Kathy, I said, just let me out, and I'm gonna go inside, but just go around, because if it's crazy, I'm not gonna stay. And I got in there, I couldn't even figure out where the hell the line ended, and one of the people in there, everyone was friendly in there.
right.
And they say, "Oh, sir, the end of the line's over here." And it was like a constant. You didn't just stand there in line and wait. It was like bump, bump, bump. And I got up to the cashier and I said, "Man, I can't believe how busy it is and how fast you guys are." They said, "Oh, this is our slow time."
Yeah.
So you got to be freaking kidding me. And it's like before I even ordered it, she's handing me a bag, and it was delicious and it was fast and they
Yeah.
were friendly.
Yeah.
It was a very good experience.
Yeah, I have never. I mean, we eat there quite a bit when we go out of town, down that way. Yeah, pretty much every time we go down that way, because the kids love Chick-fil-A.
You feed your whole family on it?
Yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, we don't usually have them all down there. It's McKenna might have an appointment, or maybe it's her in Austin or whatever. But
So you only feed a couple of your kids?
yeah, just a couple of times.
Do they're like, if you have an even number, you get to eat on Tuesdays and Thursdays?
It's not Daddy's turn to eat now.
Oh, crap. I thought it was Wednesday.
But it's for those of you that have never been to a Chick-fil-A, it's actually fascinating for me anyway to watch how smooth that operation runs, because
And there's a million of them back there.
Yeah.
And they're like bees. They're all working, but they're not running into each other.
yeah,
and they
they're a
get
cohesive
stuff
unit.
done.
I don't know how they train their people, but whatever they're doing,
Do they
it
pay
works.
well?
That particular location down there, I can't say for sure. I noticed maybe within the last year or two, they actually had a sign for an open interviews on a certain day or something like that, and they said their starting pay was $15 an hour.
Wow.
So, and you don't see the people that are in there are well spoken. They're very polite. They're clean, and they get the people they're looking for at $15 an hour, more or less. I think so. They do a really good job, and they do a lot for their communities. I know that a couple times when I've been down in the Indianapolis area for a fallen officers' funerals, I've noticed that Chick-fil-A will actually, if they're in that area during the processional route going to the cemetery, Chick-fil-A will actually shut down their business, and they've got all their employees standing out there waving
Wow.
flags, and so.
Wow. Now I just Googled it while you were talking, and it says that you can get up to $17.51 an hour working there. And I don't think that's management. That's just the basic worker salary.
Yeah. So
good for them.
It looks like they treat their people well. I mean, I guess
and
I
their
don't
prices
know.
aren't stupid.
Yeah, it's no worse.
But
than
I
going
guess if
anywhere
you
else.
can get that many people through, you make enough money in volume.
Yeah, when we were there last time, when my wife and I were down that way, it was that one. The one I'm talking about down there in the Westfield area with the big Walmart plaza and the crew car wash, and it's right there off of 31.
I'm not allowed out of town a whole lot, so I don't know.
Anyway, there's a big empty Marsh building down there in this plaza, Then you kind of got to cross a road, and there's a Starbucks on the left-hand side, and it's a good jog to Chic-fil-A, which is on the opposite end of the parking lot, on the other parking lot on the other side of the road. And the line was backed up all the way there to where that marsh was. And I'm thinking, I do not want to sit in this line. This is I know they move fast, but this is ridiculous.
But it's almost going faster than 465. When you're
I mean, I think it was maybe 25 minutes from the time I got in the line till the time I got wrapped around the building and got my food, which was super fast.
Yeah.
I've waited longer than that when, the big golden arches pull police pull forward, sir. And
you never want to do that.
That's the death.
Yeah. The worst part is, and I'm not dogging McDonald's, but when they tell you to pull all the way around by the other door, just leave. Just
chalk it up as a loss.
Yeah, you lost that money. Just go someplace else. I don't know what. You just get forgotten over there.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that happen for a long time. I think that's right after they remodeled and opened back up, and they had a hard time keeping up.
Anyway, it's kind of cool for me to, especially with the way things are going in the world now. It's neat to see a big business like this supporting its communities.
Yeah.
And good for them. So if you've never had Chick-fil-A and you like chicken, I would highly recommend checking it out. They've got really good food. I've never had a bad experience there. No matter how busy and chaotic they are, which is pretty much every time I've gone to one, they get your order right and they get it to you pretty fast. So, got anything else you want to touch on this week before we head out of here?
Oh, what can we talk about? No, got nothing.
Got nothing? All right. I appreciate everybody tuning in.
Actually, I have a lot to say. We're not allowed to talk about any of it. We're censored.
We're censored? All right.
All right.
We're trying to stay positive. Remember, we're trying to stay positive at least until the end of the year. So we're trying to get away from all the politics and everything else. Appreciate everybody watching along or listening along, whatever your favorite thing to do is, and we will talk to you guys next time. Take care.
We'll have more penis stories for you.
Yeah, probably.
And butts. Penis and butts.
Penis and butts. All right. Take care. See ya.
Penis and butts.